Welcome to Pieces for My Puzzle. I'm your host, Nikki Ship, and I'm excited to be sharing with you my life with a son on the spectrum. This podcast is for anyone who is looking for quick tips and perspective, but most of all, for hope and inspiration. So sit back, relax, and let's put the pieces together. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Pieces for My Puzzle. I'm your host, Nikki Ship. Thank you so much for joining us today. Last week, we talked about nurturing social skills with your kiddo. I hope you've found some great and awesome information in there, at least maybe some creative ideas to spark ways to connect and create social skill opportunities with your child. This week, we're actually going to talk about cultivating friendship and connection with your child on the spectrum, you personally as a parent. And I think that this is so important because this leads right into from nurturing social skills into cultivating connection with your child personally. And this has been a really big topic for me in our household because I feel that it's a journey that goes beyond the conventional parenting role. And I want to enter the realms of friendship with my son and become more of a mentor and establish deep connection with him. And so I want to uncover why these connections are crucial in today's episode, how to foster them, and various methods to enhance beautiful relationships with your children. Let me start off by saying that, I think that connection is so crucial, just not even with your children, but in general, with your loved ones, your friends, your family. And I think it's really important that we have that connection with our kids as well. And I think sometimes we get really siloed into just being parents and more of that authoritative figure, so to speak, instead of focusing on cultivating more of a friendship and mentoring with your child. So connection serves as the bedrock of any relationship, as I just mentioned, and more so between a parent and child on the spectrum. And I don't think that I think we underestimate, or at least I should say I have underestimated my relationship, my connection with my son. And it's not just about guiding them through life, but understanding their world from their perspective. Drayson has taught me so much about how he sees the world, and it has helped me to connect with him in a different way. Forming a bond on friendship and mutual respect opens doors to better communication and trust and understanding. And that's what I want for my son, for my child. It paves the way for parents to not just be caregivers, but allies in your child's exploration of the world. And that's why I feel that connection is so important between parents and children. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't be a parent still. And I'll get to that in just a minute. But when parents approach their relationship with their child on the spectrum from a place of friendship, it transforms the dynamic. And I've experienced this firsthand myself. The approach makes learning and development a shared experience rather than a one-sided effort. It makes it more cohesive and fluid for you in your relationship. It encourages open dialogue where a child will feel seen, heard, and respected. And it not only empowers your child, but also gives parents insight into how they're seeing, what their perspectives are, and what their world around them looks like. Because Drayson's world looks totally different than mine. It's not to say, like I said, that you shouldn't cut out the parental role. There needs to be a balance, of course, between parenting and friendship. So when your kids are younger, you may need to be more of a parent. But as you're entering, as your children become older, maybe it's time to enter more of that stage of cultivating a friendship and mentoring them. And I've been trying to learn a lot of aspects of friendship with Drayson recently, rather than just parenting him. And my oldest, Cody, who is grown and out of the house, we're great friends today, and I'm really proud of that. I'm proud of the friendship that I have with my oldest son. I'm proud of the things that he's accomplished. And, I'm proud that he comes to me for advice and he asks for perspective from me. And that's a great, beautiful, wonderful part of our friendship that we have. And mentoring my oldest son has been crucial, I feel like, and I feel that way for Drayson as well. So there are times where I have to stop myself and ask if I need to put myself more into a mentoring mode, or if I need to be more of a parent and invoke more disciplinary action. So there is a fine balance with that. I'm going to give you guys some methods or suggestions on ways that you can connect with your child on the spectrum, and it might require creative and patient strategies. So this has taken a lot of patience on my end. That's probably one of the biggest things I've learned is I've learned to become more patient, and I've learned to become more creative in the ways that I'm trying to connect with him. So, of course, the first recommendation I'm going to have is shared interests. Discover activities that both you and your child are passionate about. It could be anything from nature walks to art projects. It could be to exploring the world of trains or cars or whatever captures your child's fascination. Shared interests create a common ground for both of you to connect, learn, and grow together. And that's an amazing thing, because even for us as adults, I always say, if I'm not learning every day, there's a problem, right? I want to learn something every day. So this could also be a really great opportunity for you to learn something new as well, alongside with your child at the same time. And it also shows a level of transparency, right? That you're not, that you are open to learning, that it still fascinates you, that you still have curiosity, and you're showing all of those things and exhibiting that behavior to your child, which is highly, highly beneficial. Drayson, as I've mentioned on previous episodes, he loves trains. So we started looking into train museums and train parks here in Arizona that we could find. And we learned what we could about trains too, just to educate ourselves and Drayson with them, like fun facts about trains, steam engines and how they operate versus an electric powered engine, or all of those types of things. We've explored all of those things. I probably know more about trains than I care to admit, but at the same time, it's been a great way for me to connect with Drayson. I was talking to a mom the other day about her son, and she said that he knows all of the state capitals, and I thought this was fantastic because they're learning about all these fun facts about state capitals. And I even told her, I said, eventually if you decide to take road trips, this would be a great way to segue him into traveling maybe and going and learning about those state capitals in person. How exciting would that be? How fun would that be? And she was like, I've never thought about that. And I'm like, you should start here. Start with your state capital here. Take them, go explore. It's not just about reading facts on a computer or looking up things on a show. It's getting out there into the world, and that creates great opportunities. Try to tailor your communication. Understanding and respecting your child's communication preferences is also really key. If you want your child to open up to you, you got to meet them where they're at. And some children might prefer nonverbal modes of communication, while others might find comfort in clear and direct language. Drayson first started communicating with us with pictures and photos and pointing, and he was nonverbal when he was younger. So now we were able to have more pointed conversations with him and interact with him a little bit more, but use what works for them. Adapting to their comfort zone shows respect for their needs and fosters a deeper bond, which is also really, really important. If you want them to trust you and to be able to come to you and to feel like they're in a safe space, you have to adapt to where their comfort zone currently is at and help them to grow and cultivate more into different types of comfort zones. That's super, super important. We used pictures, like I said at first, when we were trying to express or share interests with him, and we would have him identify things about trains, let's say, using pictures. So we would talk about the color, the shape, the size, even the texture of things. You can have cards that have specific details on them to identify things about their interests. That's also really great, especially if they're nonverbal at first. Now we do the rule of 3 in our home, and that's three things that we learned or fun facts about that particular interest. And we also now have segued that with Drayson even after school. So if I pick him up and I'm trying to engage with him in conversation, I just tell him how much I love him and I want to know about his day, and that it means something to me to know about what he did that day. So to give me 3 things that he did that day at school. And then we try to expand the conversation from there. Routines and rituals. I know, again, we've talked about this several times on lots of other different episodes, but as you well know, routine and rituals are super important, keeping that structure. Creating small rituals and routines can help build a sense of security and anticipation. It could be even a special handshake, a nightly storytelling session, or a weekly outing. Of recent, Drayson just started, I'm assuming he learned it at school, but he likes to air guitar, which is hilarious to me. So for us, just even playing music and air guitaring, that's like our special little thing. Doing high fives, that's also a very special thing for us too. Those moments become really sacred, and whether you realize it or not in the moment, think back on some of those moments you've had with your child and how sacred those moments are, and strengthening that bond between you and your child. It's just so beneficial. Commit to regularly exploring these interests with your child. So if it's a weekly thing every Saturday morning, on the weekend, maybe exploring that special interest with your child. And you can even create a calendar of events if you need to indicate that an activity is coming with the date and time. This helps them with orienting themselves around a schedule. And it's also great for summer. Create those learning opportunities. Turn everyday moments into learning opportunities, whether it's cooking together, doing household chores, or even navigating social situations. Approach these as chances to learn from each other. Every interaction you have is a potential learning opportunity for you and for your child. Celebrate your successes, no matter how small, and learn from the hiccups along the way, I always say. Just remember to exercise patience and acceptance into any situation with your kiddo. And we've been also learning cooking, and that's something that we're going to start, I think, this summer. One of the weekly activities that Drayson has at his school is culinary class. So he's been learning to cook lots of different foods. And at the end of the school year this year, his cooking teacher gave all of the kids a cookbook of all the recipes of what they've done throughout the school year, which I thought was just such a lovely, thoughtful thing to do. So what we've done now is we keep it on the counter in the kitchen, and Drayson and I are going to start looking through those together. And I've already told him that we're going to look through them together, and we're going to decide on some meals to prepare with each other using that cookbook that he learned at school. So I told him I want him to show me his favorites, what he likes, what he doesn't like, and we can even encourage him to at least try it. And if he doesn't like it, we praise him still for at least trying it. And so that's something that we're really looking forward to this summer. And because I'm a big foodie, I'm excited about the food. Be open and vulnerable. Show your child that it's okay to be vulnerable. And this is really, really important. Share your feelings, apologizing when necessary, and admitting when you've done, when you don't have all the answers. Admitting that you're not sure of the answer, because, I think sometimes we take on this role thinking, that we have to have all the answers for our children. And it's okay to show them that we might not have all of the answers. And it makes us also more relatable and approachable. Because if we don't have all the answers and they don't either, that's something that you guys can figure out together. And that's a beautiful, wonderful thing. It teaches them the value of honesty and also emotional expression. And that's also something to keep in mind. So don't wall off your feelings with your child. Be okay showing them, being transparent. Maybe you don't know all the answers about trains, but let's go look it up. Maybe, I don't know why the engine works the way that it works that way. Let's go look it up. And that could even be in the realm of daily activities, even putting clothes away, folding laundry. Well, why do we fold laundry this way? Well, I don't know. Why do we fold laundry this way? Well, how would you like to fold the laundry? Why don't you show me? Do you have an idea? Something as simple, even down to the household daily chores. Those things can also be really helpful as well. And it opens up conversation, creates connection with your child. Let them know that it's okay to feel the way that they do. It's okay if they feel angry or sad or frustrated or happy or excited. It's okay to feel those emotions because we all feel those emotions. So I try very much to explain why I feel the way I feel to Drayson in the moment when he sees me react certain ways. And that happened actually the other day. It was a prime example. I was in traffic, car cut me off, forgot my kid was in the car. I dropped an F-bomb. He told me that I was saying bad words. And I said, "You're right." And I said, "I'm sorry. I said it because I got frustrated and this car cut me off." And he went, "Okay." And I said, "I will try not to do that again." And he said, "Okay." And I think I did it like 2 miles later when the next car cut me off. But anyway, building a friendship with your child on the spectrum can be a rewarding endeavor. And it's about celebrating their uniqueness, respecting their perspective, and walking alongside them as both a parent and a friend. Remember, the goal isn't to change who they are, but to enrich their lives by providing them with understanding, support, and unconditional love. I hope today's episode inspired you to explore new ways of connecting with your child. Thank you for joining us on this important conversation, and I encourage you to keep building those bridges of understanding and love with your child. This concludes our episode for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have a question, a comment, or even a show topic that you would like to hear about, please feel free to email me at info@piecesformypuzzle.com. Also, don't forget to like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, so that you can stay updated with all the latest episodes coming in. Thanks again for tuning in, and until next time, keep working on your puzzle, and remember, you don't have to have it solved in a day. Take care.